project today. Picked up a Deutscher 280 ride-on mower. Very cheap price, 180 bucks. Doesn't run, nothing on it moves. It rolls and it steers and that's it. So we're gonna see if we can get it to fire up. The bloke who bought it off reckoned it's been sitting for a couple of years and hasn't run. He reckons when his son brought it out there to his property it was running. Anyway, for whatever reason he needs to use it the other day. He grabbed the pull start, apparently the engine turned over but pull start wouldn't return and he promptly gave up. So he put it for sale, so I picked it up. So we're gonna see if we can get it to fire up, and then if we can get it to fire up, see whether it can drive and cut. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna pull the pull start off and try and get the core to return, and then see if the engine will turn over, and probably pull the spark plug as well, and just make sure that it's not full of crap. Had a little bit of a look at it. All I've done so far is just spray a heap of CRC on all the levers and everything, just to get a bit of a head start. Because as you see, nothing moves on it. It's all completely frozen, so yeah, we'll see what we can do. Right, so I worked out you got to take the entire cover off to undo this, which I can't really be bothered doing. So I've managed to wind this back in by hand. The spring must just need a little bit of something sprayed on it so it'll retract, but we'll pull it and see if it turns over. Well, it spins, we know it turns over. Also sounds like the drive is engaged. Well, that moved. Oh, sounds like it's got a little bit of compression. So I might just pull the spark plug out and have a quick look at that. And we'll go from there. Right, so we've discovered that you can't get any sort of socket into the spark plug because of this bar, which sort of lines up with it, if you can sort of see. So you can't get a socket in there. We can't work out what size it is either. And this bar isn't just undo it and remove, it's part of the frame. It's welded both sides. So I'm going to undo the engine mount bolts and try and lift the engine up a little bit. Hopefully that'll be enough. Right, yeah, loosened all the engine mount bolts, so I'll try and raise that up a little bit so I can get a socket onto the spark plug. A couple more things about the engine. Other things that are stuck, the dipstick for the diff, which is incredible that it's rusted in there. I'm hoping there's oil in there. I'm assuming there is, but it must be just rusted to the tube, so I can't undo that, so we'll have to get that out. This can also has a battery start. I've got a little battery that might suit it, and it's literally just a push start, so we won't use that until we can get the engine to fire with the pull start, just in case we cause some damage, because we'll get that out and we might put a little bit of oil or something into the cylinder just to lubricate it a little bit. Yeah, so I'll get a bar and we'll try and raise this up and see whether I can get a socket on there. Cool. Alrighty, we've got him up. So now we should be able to fit a socket in there, hopefully. Alrighty, I've got the spark plug out. Not sure how well you guys can see that, but she's pretty wet. So I don't know if it's had a bit of oil in there or it's leaking oil. Sorry about the wind noise, it's a bit of a day. Yeah, so must have a little bit of oil leaking in somewhere or getting in there. So we'll give that a clean up. I don't think I'll put any oil in there if it's spark plug's that wet, as it was turning over before when I was pulling the pull start, so we might get away with it. Anyway, she must be a pretty old spark plug. Champion. Might be the original, who knows. Give it a clean and we'll jam her back in there. Rightio, giving that a wire brush up. Don't know if you guys can be able to tell. The gap looks alright and the end of the spark plug looks like it's pretty even still, which is what you want. It's obviously an old spark plug, so if I do get it going, we'll give it a service and we'll probably get a new one. But before I put it in, we'll test that it's actually making a spark. Hopefully it is. Hopefully we don't have any lead problems, because I don't have any leads. So we'll hook it back on. Try and position it so we can see. Alright, we'll give it a pull. Not sure whether you guys would have been able to see that, but it was sparking. You might have heard it click. I'll try and do it so you can see. Oh well, not sure if you saw it, but I could hear it and I could see it, so take my word. Right, so we'll put that back in. You know we have spark, which is one of the main things we need. That's good. Alright, so engine is back mounted down. I've done all the bolts back up. We've got spark. That's a start. So we're going to need air and fuel still, and compression. Pretty sure we got compression. Pulled it a few times and it seems like it's got compression. So we'll whip the air cleaner off. I've had a look in there. We'll talk more about that once I've got the cover off. And we'll also chuck fuel in it as well. It's got no fuel. Don't know when it last had fuel. But yeah, we'll get to that when we get to that. Anyway, on another note, we know that this is an off-road sports model. The off-road, because we have the tractor tyres, these also are able to fit duals. So we might have to find another set of these. We'll have duals out there. We'll be able to go anywhere. We know it's a sports model. Chrome air cleaner. And everybody knows chrome will get you home. But anyway, we'll whip this off. Now, as I said, I've already had this off, just for a look. There's not going to be much we can do about this either until I get some parts. But basically, this air cleaner isn't the right size. It doesn't clamp all the way down, so dirt can get in between the seal and that ridge there, which it sort of has, which isn't good. Because as we can see, maybe, might be able to see down into the carby there, there's a bit of dirt and gunk, a bit of oil sitting on top of that. Then that's not really what we want. So we will have to pull the carby at some point to clean it. But my goal is to get it to fire. If we get it to fire and it runs, it probably will run rough if it runs at all. And then we'll pull the carby, but I don't want to waste my time pulling the carby if it's still not going to fire. But yeah, there was a lot of dirt and stuff in there, so I expect there'll be dirt in the bottom of the carby and maybe jets might be plugged up. It does have a filter on the fuel line, but that means nothing if dirt can get in past your air filter. Sort of, yeah, counters each other out. So we will open up the fuel tank, put a little bit of fuel in there, and then we'll give it a pull, see whether or not it's going to fire. Also going to put some oil in it. It's got no oil. Don't know if you guys can see into the fuel tank, but she be bone dry. So we will get some fuel into that. I'll find a little bit of oil. I think I've only got diesel engine oil, but that'll do for what we're doing here today. Alright, gonna chuck some fuel in it. I've pulled the line off the bottom just in case there's any crap in here. We'll flush it out. Save it blocking up our probably 30-year-old fuel filter, which is probably blocked anyway, but you know, it'll help out a little bit. A little bit of stuff come out, I think. Chuck some fuel in the tank and put that line back on. Hopefully we'll get some fuel in that filter. I think it's slowly going in. I don't have anything coming through. I don't know if she's blocked. Try and blow a little bit of air through it. Oh, there we go, just had a bit of a blockage. See, it's pumping through now. Now we'll be having to find out what the fuel tap actually does on this thing, what way you have to turn it. There's no arrows or nothing. So I don't know whether she's going to be on or off. Just a screw type. So start with it there and see whether or not that pulls any fuel through. A little bit of crap in the fuel filter, but we've got something there which will help stop a little bit of dirt going through. So I'll find a little bit of oil to chuck in this thing. Then we'll see if it fires. Yeah, that's not very good. Yeah, so we're going to try and take this fuel bowl off, see if we can get some fuel out of there, because it won't fire. Oh yeah. She is not healthy. The fuel coming out of that is bloody yellow as anything. And the needle on this screw has the needle on it. It's pretty dirty. How long do we turn this before we get any fuel? Yeah, we've got a blockage. There's no fuel going into the bowl. We know the line's clear, so it must be something in the bowl. Maybe the float's stuck. Regardless, we're going to have to clean it. Oof. She is definitely blocked. Look at all that crap in there. And that's got to be from having that filter not sitting right. We're going to have to do some cleaning. Oh yeah, that's rust. It's obviously had a bit of moisture getting in there. That is not what we want. Anyway, we'll give this a clean up, hopefully. Oh, there we go, the fuel's coming out now that I've given that the float a jiggle. So there must have been a little bit of rust up in there as well. This valve shuts it off. Yeah, cool. Alrighty, so we're getting fuel through to the bowl now. But we're still going to have to clean all this up. That is just too dirty. Rightio, so I've cleaned the bowl up as good as what I'm going to be able to get it. I put a wire brush in there, could probably do a little bit better, but for now that'll be fine. I've got most of the rust out, I think. So I've tried to pull the jet out, which is up in that section there, just in the middle of the float, but unfortunately it won't unscrew all the way and it's starting to strip out where the screwdriver goes, and then instead of wrecking it, I'm going to try and just blast a little bit of air up it, which isn't ideal. You'd want to pull it out to clean it properly, but I don't want to wreck it. So we'll blast a little bit of air in there and we'll try and reconstruct it. Hopefully the gasket's okay where the bowl was sitting, and we'll try again. Now we have air going through, so I just had it loose. So I'll do it back up. Hopefully it'll be fine. Might have to get a rebuild kit for this thing, for the carby. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, it is a Briggs & Stratton engine. You may have seen the sticker already. 12 horsepower, Dad reckons I'll be able to do wheelies on it. It's going to have that many horses behind it. We'll find out though. Alright, that must be unblocked. So we'll put all this back together and we'll try and start it again. I reckon someone's tried to have that jet out before and they've somehow cocked it up. So it's gonna be a pain in the ass if we can't get that out without ruining it. So hopefully that little blowout is going to be good enough for it. And hopefully that gasket reseals, because I don't have another one. Alright, let's give it a go. Oof, there's a fire. She wanted to go. fires. Boiler fire, runs. I've got something sticking. She doesn't want to. She doesn't want to idle. Alright, let's have another go. There we go. Throttle just has to go all the way that way to turn the idle down. Cool. Right, well, we'll check the oil again, just in case. God knows where it's all going to go. She's pretty dirty. Still got plenty of oil, so we'll fire him back up. We'll let him run. Let it warm up, burn some of the crap off. Fair bit of shit burning off the muffler there. There we go. Bit of a cough and splutter there when you give it some revs. That's to be expected. I think it needs a new muffler. She's blown a lot of smoke out of a hole just up the top here, straight onto the inlet manifold, which which is not what you want. So we may need to get a new muffler for it. Well, yeah, probably will need to get a kit for this Carby as well. Give it a proper spruce up. Yeah, to make sure it's gonna run alright. Yeah, it seems to run alright. It sounds a bit rattly. I hope that's not the, well, I'd rather it not be the engine and be the transmission, but at the same time I don't want it to be the transmission. We need to get this dipstick out and check the oil in there. Try and nut out what the hell's going on. Sounded a little bit rattly. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. We got it running, so cool. Wasn't a waste of $180, and I haven't spent a cent on it yet, other than the price. So we might just jam the battery in there that I've got and see if the starter works. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. I've got the pull start, we know that that works. But just because I've got a battery, might as well try it. Right, we'll give this a go. Problem with the starter motor by the sounds of that, either the ring gear or the gear on the starter motor's not right or not throwing out. But we're not going to get too involved in that. It starts with the pull start and that'll be fine for now. Alrighty, just decided I'll check the gearbox oil, see what's in it. Managed to get the dipstick off. It's no wonder it was stuck, it's just metal on metal. Now, she was pretty rusty, so I'll dip it. Yeah, she's still pretty rusty. And as you can see, she's dry as an Arab sandal. So that isn't good. I'm very much hoping that it's just leaked out over the years and it hasn't been actually run with no oil. But yeah, we're gonna have to get some oil for that before we do try to drive it. So took that battery back off, doesn't need to be on there. It's all buttoned back up, put everything away. Pretty successful, engine's running. Questions over the gearbox, but hopefully we can get that nutted out as well. So at least we know the engine is running, and that's one step in the right direction. So anyway, we'll leave it at that, and I'll order some parts and a bit of oil and stuff, and next time we'll come back and finish it off. So thanks for watching everybody, and I'll catch you in the next one.